There we go. There we go. And we'll just go ahead and get this started. May not have been the full 2 minutes, but we'll go ahead and get started. If anybody else joins us, they join, and that'll be just fine. I want to welcome you to this month's GAT Area 1A meeting for multiple District 7. And so glad to see so many people here. That's really great. I knew that Roy would not be here tonight. He's at a club meeting. And before we get started, let me just ask this: is Tuesday night a bad night, or is it an okay night? Would you rather have it on a week that we only have Monday through Thursdays? Tuesdays and Thursdays are pretty well booked for meetings. So if a Wednesday would work better for you, let me know. But if this is a good night for you, I'm happy to keep it right here. So
but it is my club's meeting night.
Well, and I know that, and that's the hard thing. There's so many people and there's so many moving parts. And I know that you have your club meeting is tonight. I know that Roy, I think he has a club meeting tonight. I don't know if it's his or if he's visiting, but if it would be a better night, send me an email, tell me what it is. If I need to send a survey out, we can do that. But if I don't hear but just a couple that the rest of us want to continue on Tuesday, then we'll keep it on that Tuesday night. So anyway, that's one piece of business that's out of the way. No. Yes, I mean Thursday, since we are. Yes, my wife just corrected me, telling me we mean Thursday, not Tuesday. So, I don't know what day of the week it is. That's really good. And I have that on record, so you guys can hold that against me for a little while. I want to welcome you here tonight. It's glad to see you here and appreciate your time with us. Before I get started, before we start this moving forward, I'm going to ask my vice area leader if she has anything she'd like to pass on to the group here. Terry, I'm going to give the floor to you.
Wouldn't you know, it's the exact same time my dogs are barking. So, no, hey, everybody, it's me.
So,
Thanks, Terry. I appreciate that. And joining us this evening is our GAT Area 1A GMA leader for our area, and that is past District Governor Larkin Smith, District 2S3 out of Texas. So Larkin, do you have anything you want to say before we get started?
I'm just going to listen and have fun and take a lot of notes.
Well, all right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and let me get this screen started sharing here. All right, so we'll get this going, and again, welcome everybody to our monthly call. We'll go over a few things, but my portion of this little presentation is going to take not going to take very long. The biggest part of this meeting is to hear from y'all and to find out what's going on within your districts and what's going on within MD7 and all the good things that are happening and what you're doing. So like I say, mine will be pretty short. So as we all know, we are on a mission, and that mission is mission 1.5. And there's no doubt that there's a lot for us to do. It is a big task. It's a big ask that we're doing for everyone that is involved in district and in MD leadership. So we're on that mission, and I'm glad to be a part of it with you, and I'm glad you're a part of it with me. I think we're gonna do some good things this year. So I did my welcome. This is the agenda. So we've had a welcome here. We're going to talk about mission 1.5. We're going to also take a look at first quarter goals to actual. We're going to do a few items of interest. And the last thing is going to be district reports. This is where you will have your opportunity to talk about your district and some things that are going on there and brag on it, talk about successes. And you can also bring up any challenges that you're experiencing and that maybe somebody in this group can help you with, or if not, we can take that back and maybe try to find some good resources, somebody else can help you with any challenges that you might have. So I kind of look at this as being an opportunity for you to do some bragging on the district. So I hope to hear that. So we have all accepted the mission of challenge of the Mission 1.5 challenge. So just exactly what does that mean? What did it mean when we accepted that challenge? Well, first thing it meant is that we were going to work on developing new clubs within our district. And each one of you in your district goals said that you were gonna put in one new club. Now, you kind of got hoodwinked into putting in that one new club goal because you couldn't go past that portion of the prompt as you were filling out your goal statement for the year unless you had at least one new club in there. So the majority of you, all of you, put in one new club. The majority of you had your new clubs coming in the second, third quarter. So if your goal was to put one in the second quarter, we're kind of moving on into that second quarter. We might need to think about getting started a little bit. And the other part of that challenge that we agreed to was to implement the global membership approach throughout the district, and that meant taking the global membership approach all the way down to the club level. So as you can see, those are the two things that we agreed to, and the either fortunate or unfortunate side of that is that each one of those carry a GAT member level position at the district level and also at the multiple level. The new club development has a GET, or a Global Extension Team Coordinator. That is a person that you can that literally has a spot in your chairman or chairperson's box in My Lion. And the other is the global membership approach. And while we do not have a box for the GMA champion or GMA lead, whatever you prefer to call that person, it is a GAT position job, and we need to have that GET and the GMA assigned. So if you haven't found one yet, please let's talk about that. Let's have some conversation about what we can do to find you that person. And remember, it doesn't have to be a past district governor. It can be a grassroots lion, someone that you feel would do a good job for you and for your district. So it doesn't have to be a past district governor. So MD7 membership stands right now for the entire for your entire MD stands at a -15 year to date. Now this -15 is as of today. I'm going to do a little comparison here as we get down the road to what we were at the end of the quarter. So, but you're going to see some numbers that come up as we were as of today. 7L, you were at -1. 7I, you were at a -1. 7O, you're at 0, and 7N, you're at a -13 for the year. And that is, as I say, that's as of today. So we got a little bit of work to do. We need to find some ways that we can bring in some new lions. This is the first. While every month should be. We should always be working on new membership and working on new lines, and every month should be a membership month. October is and has always been historically the first month of a membership drive. If your clubs do not have any kind of membership drive that they're working on right now, maybe you might want to reach out to them, give them some ideas. If you were to go to my LCI, there's some great information, and if you go to membership growth event, there's a great membership growth event toolbox that is there. And it's excuse me, and it provides a world of information and resource that you can use and that your clubs can use. But if they don't have anything planned yet for this month, hopefully they're going to have some stuff, and you can work with them to try to get them to get some stuff planned for November and a little bit of December, moving into January, which will be the next recognized or publicized membership drive month as we come moving forward into the new year. Unfortunately, MD7 has not started a new club for this Lions year, so we have no new club started, nor do we have a new club application in process as we speak. So that is a little bit of concern, and I would hope that, and I'm not trying to be negative here, but we really do need to do some focusing on trying to locate or trying to identify new club opportunities and where we might be able to put that new club in. And let me just say, if you need help, we have a couple of great assets for you to work with. We have for our global action team area, we have past council chair Scott Harkey, who works and supports us as our area GET leader, global extension team leader. And also we have our global membership team leader for GAT Area 1, past district governor Mark Roth. So you have two of those folks right there. Both of them have vast experience in putting in new clubs, and it's not old experience, it's recent experience in putting in new clubs, so they can help. I don't think that they're going to have a magic bullet or give you a magic pill that you can take that's going to just automatically pop up and show you where you might be able to put a new club in, but they are there to help you if you're having some struggles. They can help kind of guide you through some of that stuff. So reach out to them. They're there. That's what they're there for. They're not there just to hold a title. They're there to do some work, and they want to do some work. They want to help you. Okay, so use them, please. And during this year, multiple District 7 so far has dropped 2 clubs this Lions year, which gives your line year a negative 2 in clubs. So again, we need to kind of figure out how we can turn that around. And as I've said to a number of you when we saw you back at the USA Canada Forum, and we talked a little bit about it. You may not be able to start a new club. That may not be in the cards for your district, but I would hope that it is. But a club branch, putting in a club branch in a couple of clubs, if you can do that, that's at least going to give you a start of 10 new members within the district, because it takes 5 members to start that branch. So think about that, and that might be a way. If you start a club branch today, or I won't say today, but let's say we start a club branch here in the month of October. Who knows? You might be able to grow that club branch into a 20 person club, maybe by the 3rd quarter. And if that were to happen, then you've got your 20 that you need to start that new club. Start that new club, and there you've met your goal for that, and you've also added 20 new members to your district. So that's just, those are ways to try to help you and your district grow a new club and to add new members. I don't know if you all can see this or not. This is kind of a goals versus actual, and if we go through that, I surely, if you can see that, I'm not going to read all of them off to you, but you can see that we really need to do some pushing here. I would love to see each one of these districts by the end of this year gain at least what they say they want to gain in their membership, in their overall membership growth, and that is 7L wanted to bring in 80 new members. I wanted 35. 7 has a goal of 45, and or 7O, and then 7N has a goal of 70. Just think of what that would do to your numbers at the end of the year. So you will see this, and it's the same. It's kind of the same dashboard that you see in the scorecard that I send out on a weekly basis, but it's broken down for your district. To carry that just a little bit further, this is from Insights. This particular graph or graphic here shows you where you are in relationship to your goals and where you are in relationship to Mission 1.5. And Mission 1.5 information is in that purple number. Where you see new members, I know that you're going to look at that and say, wait a minute, that is nowhere near, or that is quite a lot more than what we said we were going to do as an entire district. Yes, or MD. Yes, it is. Please don't pay any attention to that number. I will tell you, just as I've told every MD that we've had this meeting with so far this month, Lions Clubs International came out with some target numbers for new members, and their concern was that we needed to have that many new members in order to offset the losses or they were anticipating us to have this year. And I think they took a lot of that based upon the losses that we had last year. Looking at what each one of you have put forward as your goals, and Mike and as every one of our MDs within our area put forward, each one had positive growth for the year. And I looked at them and made the comment, that's fine, you can give me all the target you want, but my area is going to stick with the numbers they put forward. And as a matter of fact, I will tell you, if my area ends with if each district ends in a +1 this year, that's better than they've done over the last 10 years as a plus. So you can throw all the targets you want out there. Our goal here is to end this year positive in every district. So please don't get all hung up on new member targets that were generated by LCI. You'll see the same thing based on on what LCI has stated for your district if you go to Insights and look at goal attainment. New clubs, also clubs reporting service, zone chairs trained, and club officers trained. Let me get back up here. If you take a look, there are a couple of things kind of make a glaring thing to me when I look at this particular chart, and that is we can take a look at zone chairs trained. We are showing 0 zone chairs being trained. That is a concern only from the standpoint that I would imagine that you have trained some zone chairs, and if you have, that means your GLT needs to enter that training into the system. If you have not trained your zone chairs and you need some zone chair training, and we can provide that virtually for you. All I need to know is, when would you like to have that training held? You tell me. I have 2 or 3 different folks that are out there that provide and do excellent zone chair training, and would be more than happy to do that virtually. So you tell me if that's something that will work for you. We'll do that. Also, club officers trained. We are seeing 0 in club officers trained. So again, if you have had training for your incoming club officers this year, or you held it in July or in August, that means the GLT needs to enter that information into the system, and then enter the training, and then enter those who ended up taking that training. Not only is my vice area leader, past district governor Terry Harkey, she fills that role. She also fills a role as our area global leadership team coordinator for our 1A area. So she is an excellent resource, knows GLT work backwards and forwards, and can literally do it in her sleep. So if you need some help there, reach out to her. She will be more than glad to help you in doing that. Clubs reporting service. I'm not gonna get too crazy about that just yet. Again, I think we need, I know you're doing more than what's being reported. I think that you as district governors, hey, you got a lot on your plate. Just reach out and tap your GST or your district administrator if you have one, and have them reach out to the clubs and help them work through any reporting issues that they might have. We know that My Lion sometimes doesn't work, and we also know that because of the frustrations that a number of people had when My Lion was first launched, that those frustrations still carry over. And so it was like, it didn't work then, I'm never going to go back to it. So we kind of sit. So if there's some help that you need, some training that you need, please, again, reach out to us. We're here to help. We have a past district governor, Cindy Watson, serves as the area GST, and she is awesome. She's out of District E1 here in the state of Texas, and she truly is awesome. So if there's any help that you need there, please reach out, and we'll provide it for you, whatever the case may be. Before I move on to the next slide, are there any questions on this slide out of LCI?
Where do you report the training?
You report training in Learn.
In Learn?
In Learn, you will go and you will open Learn, and at the very bottom of that page, it will talk about local training. You go into there, you click, you open local training, and then from there you can then create the trainings that you're going to perform this year. You can list them all at one time. They're separate ones, but you can get them all done once. And as they come about, then you go back in and then you report the training that was held by, and again, it prompts you. It's a very, very easy step-by-step and Learn to do that. It's, when I say easy, it's not complicated. It might be a little cumbersome, but it prompts you. You can't go from one step to the next step without completing each step along the way. Did that answer your question?
I think so.
Okay. and if you need some help, reach out to me or reach out to Terry. Okay, we're here to help you. Any other questions on this particular slide? All right. So some items of interest. The Jesse Robertson Cup Award. Don't know if you are familiar with that award or not, but that award is something that is given to a district. It's not given to an MD. It's given to a district for their percentage of growth. So the higher percentage of growth, the better opportunity you have in winning that Cup Award. As a matter of fact, it was won by the single district in Utah. That is a single district state out there, and they had a very, very tremendous growth that took place in that state, and through the work of the GMA process, I might add. So they won the Jesse Robinson Cup Award. If you're interested in that, in the last digest that came out, the district digest that you received from Lions Clubs International, all the information on the Jesse Robinson Cup Award is in that digest, and very easy to read. The other thing is membership development grants. I noticed that there's not one district within MD7 that has submitted application for a membership development grant. I want you to know that there's still money available in that pot of funds. It is not run out. As a matter of fact, what we were actually told about that grant was this, that, and they're speaking to Terry's dogs, there goes mine barking, that for this year, because of Mission 1.5, they're not going to turn away anybody that is looking for a grant as long as they are meeting the requirements of what the grant calls for. That grant is not a 100% grant. It is a 75-25 grant, which means your district has to cover 25% of the cost. Lions Clubs International will cover 75% of the cost in that grant, all the way up to $1,500 of LCI out of LCI funds. So I would urge you to think about applying for a membership development grant for a number of reasons. It will help you in using some dollars that you might need for putting on a membership growth events. It might help you if you're looking at trying to put in a new club and you need to be able to pay people to go and spend a couple of days in a certain spot, stay overnight, pay for some gas, pay for some lunches. It might be something that you might want to do to that is going to be promoting your district, and you need to have some extra funds to do that. You just need to follow that grant application form that is in there. And again, if you go to my LCI or just go to Lions Clubs International, in the search icon, type in membership development grant, it will take you right to it. You open that up, and everything that you would need to know about the membership development grant is there for you. So so please, if you I know you haven't applied, please take this time to apply. It doesn't take very long at all. It's an easy application. The biggest thing and the hardest thing in the world to fill out and all the whole thing is actually getting the budget portion done in their little Excel spreadsheet. So that really is the most trying portion of the whole thing. The rest of it is pretty straightforward. So please apply for it and use that money. It's there to benefit you and the district. And I don't know of a district, I haven't met a district yet that can't use an additional $1,500 in their operating account. Global membership approach training. You're gonna have to leave.
Chris?
Yes, sir.
Before you move on,
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
Can a district put in for 2 grants if the total doesn't go over 1,500? Say one grant for new club development, one grant for membership club membership development, or do you have to kind of wrap those both into a single grant?
They'll need to both be wrapped into a single grant, but you can identify them just like you just said. This is going to be for new club development, all right? And we're going to need X amount of dollars for that, and we're going to need X amount of dollars for new club growth. I mean, they're just line items, and you're going to have a separate action plan for each one anyway. So think of it this way: the grant, the cover letter for the grant. When I say cover letter, it's a form you fill out. So that's going to cover a couple of little action plans. One action plan would be new club growth, and the other one is going to be club, new member growth. So you can do it that way, and it's the same. It would be the same as applying for 2 different ones, but it's got the same cover letter. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Global membership approach training. We're going to talk. We're going to come back to that in a minute. But there is some great information out there and some great training that you and your Lions can take advantage of from my LCI webpage. There's a wonderful landing page for the GMA process, and it has a tremendous amount of training. And as a matter of fact, if you go to learn, or not to learn, but to the Lions Learning Center, there's also a great course that is on the global membership approach, and it's kind of a generic course, but it's a very good one. It will give you some very good information. Make the most of your club visits. As you're making club visits, as you are asking your first and your seconds to go out and visit clubs, there in there there's a you can go in again to Lions Clubs International, type into the search icon, make the most of your club visits. That landing page will come up. And there is a host of information that you can look at there that will really help you and you and your vice governors when they go out to visit a club. Everything you need to start a new club. There's a landing page for that. And we all know that there's a ton of information at Lions Clubs International about how to start a new club. Encourage Leo to Lions transition. One of the things that we don't do well in Constitutional Area 1, and that is transitioning Leos to Lion. So there is a new effort and a new there's some new information out there that can help with that. I mean, this particular, if you go in and type this in when you go to visit Lions Clubs International, type in encourage or type in Leo to Lion transition, you will find a new landing page there that has a host of information. There's a couple of PDFs that you can print off for yourself and to share. But we need to do a better job at transitioning our Leos into Lions. And what a great way to be able to do that. It'd be nice if we could really do a good job at doing that. LCI dues. As I went through, as we all know, right now we're going into the we finished the first quarter, so we've done 3 months. We're going into the second quarter of this year. Not going to be too long, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of the middle of November. We're going to start getting that list, if we don't take care of it now, of clubs that owe their LCI dues. If you take the time to use your club health assessment, and district governors, you get that club health assessment every month. And if you take a look all the way over on the, not the complete far right-hand side, but the next to last column on the right-hand side of that report, there's a thing called finance, and it shows account balance. Doesn't give a number, but it will tell you clubs that are 90 plus days past due, and that is up to what they owe Lions Clubs International. Now, not all of it is dues. Some of the clubs may have paid their dues, but if they have more, if they owe Lions Clubs International more than $50, Lions Clubs International is going to ask them. They can actually be canceled because they owe $50, more than $50. We don't want to see that happen. So I will I'm going to be sending out an email to you here in the next couple of days based upon what I see as clubs within your district that are 90 days plus in owing their Lions Clubs International dues. Start working with them now. Better to work with them early than to try to do all this the very last minute before the Christmas holidays get here. And I know that you hate to be a bill collector, and that might be something that district governors, you might want to pass to your first vice district governors. That's a real good job for them. That lets them get used to dealing with club leadership and those kind of things. And you got other things to focus on instead of trying to do it all. So I would rather see you spend your time working on a new club than trying to collect dues money. But give that to your first vice district governor. Just my opinion and my suggestion. So how does your district compare right now with their goals to the goals that you submitted? If you're not moving along the way that you want to see it move along, if you think you're really kind of not there, maybe you might want to take a look at adjusting your action plans, because I think your goals, and I've looked at all your goals. I have. I think you've done some. I think a couple of you are a little aggressive in your goals and your new member goal, but that's okay. You've set a goal. I think you had a plan in mind when you set those goals. But take a look at your action plan. If your action plan is not helping you to get to those goals now, then rework your action plan. There's nothing that says you have to stay with that action plan. I've always felt that the goal is always a good thing. If I'm not meeting my goal, that means I just need to adjust my action plan. Maybe I need to redo my plan a little bit so I can meet that goal. So if you're not where you want to be, develop an action plan to help you get there. And for those districts who have not completed an action plan for you this year and your goals, now is a very good time for you to sit down with your vice governors and to sit down with your GAT team and develop those goals. It doesn't have to be anything overly elaborate, but develop those goals. If you've not started working on a new club now, I think it's time to start now. You basically have about 2 months between now, in total time between now and the end of this second quarter to put in a new club. Because as soon as we get to Thanksgiving, there's a week gone. As soon as we get to 2 weeks prior to Christmas, and for at least a week after Christmas, there's 3 weeks gone. So I mean, it is time will start flying by. And then once we get past January, you're on a downhill run to the end of the year. And those of us who have served as a district governor can tell you that last 6 months, if you think the first 6 months fly, just wait till the second 6 months. They really fly. And is your team aware and committed to the district goals, and is the club membership approach being implemented at the club level? Earlier on in a little bullets portion of the slide I had out there, that slide talked about the global membership approach. Are you? Didn't mean to do that. Let me get that up here. Come back here. I'll just leave it right there. Are you getting global membership approach training done at the zone level and at the club level? And if you're not, do you need help in doing that? I am more than welcome. I'm more than glad and happy to present global membership training to any district, any club, or any zone that might need it. We do it virtually. It's easy to do. I have a little bit of experience in the global membership approach. I've kind of been working it and championing it for about the last 5 years. So I think I have a little knowledge about it, and I'd be more than glad to help you with that. So if I can be of help, if you would like some help in that, reach out to me. Literally, I'm just a phone call away, and we'll do whatever we can to help you in doing that. So the last one is we're going to talk about. It's going to be time for you to talk, and I'm gonna stop sharing here, but I'm gonna let you see what we're talking about. New club development, club branches, priority clubs, club rebuilds, and membership growth events for October. These are things that I want you to kind of tell your fellow governors about, and to share with us what all is going on within your district. So let me stop this share here. We'll come back to that. So who wants to be my first victim in all of this? Which district governor wants to start off? I say victim, and I mean that just as tongue in cheek. I'm proud of all of you. I know you're working hard, and you're doing a good job. And it's not an easy task. So who wants to start off first here? Betsy, is that you raising your hand?
Man, I don't mind starting off.
Go right ahead, Russell.
First, I want to say though, we've had a few vacations. I've had gone through a conversion at work, and I've got my district convention coming up. So it's been a tough few weeks for me to even think about it. So new clubs, most of those answers we probably would have to say we haven't made much progress in. I know Line Jeff and Line Linda, they've been working up in their area on some rebuilding clubs and stuff. So I'll let them talk to that. I know they're supposed to have had a meeting in October, early October with that club. So hopefully they were able to do that, but I haven't had a chance to visit with that.
All right.
So that's the quick report on that.
All right. Do you have any clubs that you think you might want to that you want to put in as priority clubs at all?
As far as
Those clubs that are 15 or less in membership that you think you have an opportunity to rebuild, that you would, Priority Club is a two-year commitment to that. The good thing it is you do get a little bit of LCI funds to help cover transportation costs, overnight costs, those kind of things. There's a little bit of money that can help a district when they're trying to rebuild a club if they do priority. The downside to that, if you don't have any growth in that club over a 2-year period, Lions Clubs International can and has on occasion cancel the club because they just did not. That's the whole idea of priority, is to move them out of trouble. So
I don't know if I want to put any clubs in that priority group then.
Well, it's a 2-year period, and most clubs can, and all it takes is just one additional. They grow by one. They're meeting some growth. They're not holding them. They're not holding them to a tough wire, if you will, that says, hey, you got to have 5 members or 10 members. If you show positive growth over that 2-year period, which there's not a number attached to positive growth, just says positive growth. So, but I'm just offering that up if there's anything that you might want to use for that, or if you have clubs that are in that position that you think might be better to let them go ahead and take their normal course and put in a club right behind them, then that might be something that you're thinking about doing. I don't know, but whatever that case might be, there are some options for you, Russell, for you and those clubs that are out there, and there is help there if you choose one of those options. Okay, that's what I want to make sure you understand.
Is that something that we could get together with our team for our district only and discuss with you?
Yes, most definitely. This does not have to be an over the open line of communication. If you want to have a little bit of a conversation that's a little more closed, certainly we can do that. Yes, sir.
There's a lot of rabbit holes we could go down, and we all know we could spend a couple hours on this. So I don't want to.
Sure, not a problem. And do you need any help in getting global membership approach training done at your district, zone, and club levels?
We should probably look at that. We've had some, and I can let, I think Lion Myrna's on here. She's the GLT. We've had some issues getting the officers and all them to the trainings, to just attend. And so maybe strategies to get them to train, to get them, that would be very helpful. Alternative, and I think of myself in this case. I'm in this meeting here. My wife's already asked me when I'm going to be home, and then when I get home, kids, and then I have another meeting after that. So alternative methods of training is what I'm kind of looking for. Is it because I know a lot of my stuff I do on my phone, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, sitting in a doctor's office, are there ways we could utilize those macro moments of time to train instead of setting up a 2 or 3 hour long training for a night? So
there might be, and I'm gonna ask Carrie that for her and I to have a conversation offline, that maybe we can come up with some. I hate to call it canned, but maybe some canned training that can be done in those micro moments. So the only problem is we can offer it, just kind of like we can offer online training as we have it right now for club officers. But the problem is getting them to go and do the training. So maybe we can, I think as my term is, we can always lead that horse to water, but we can't make them drink. But maybe we can find a salt lick along the way that will cause them to want to have to take a drink of that water. But we can certainly do that. And Terry, maybe you and I can have a conversation offline at another time, we can come up with some ideas on how to do some pre-recorded training that targets what the district governors are wanting us to target, and at the same time meeting the needs and requirements of that club officer. Would that, I think that's what you're saying.
I think that would help. You know, even when I talk to some of the other members, they're just, I don't have time. I don't have the time to, you know, schedule a 6 to 8 meeting. Now, we all know if we want to do it, we'll make the time.
Sure.
Well, it is one time a year.
Exactly. So,
And if you can, for example, your zone chairs, which I've done a bunch of those. We did that between 11 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon on a Saturday. It could be a Saturday or a Sunday or whatever anybody wants, but that's for the whole year. And what you get out of that is so important for that person, because it really gives them the tools they need to go forward instead of just floundering around. So I would tell you that there are already webinars and YouTubes. Mark Roth has one. I think maybe even Jerome has one. Several people have on Lions Virtual. There are already trainings for that are webinar type of thing that you can stop and start between each session. But if you need anything in that area, you know, we're both totally available to help in any way.
okay.
Chris, when I
Yes, sir.
was district governor, I guess it would have been the year following your term, because I was knee deep in COVID, where you just kind of entered it there.
Yeah.
But we were low on guiding lions, and I developed and worked out a narrative type program. Now to a guiding lion training, and the whole thing would have taken an hour and a half max. But I broke it up over a 6-week period so that if anybody wanted, it was only a 15-minute bite every Monday. And I think Russell took that training, didn't you?
And I was able to take that, and I took it in those small bites, in those little.
Yeah. So that's kind of exactly what I think he's talking about, is just, even
That's
if
a
it's
great
just,
idea. That's a great idea, Jeff. That's a great idea. I would love to. If you have that still on somewhere in your computer file there, if you could forward that to me, I'd love to see it.
I can, yes.
Please do. I'd love to see it. That might be something that we could find, and maybe between a few of the folks we can reach out to, that I know between Terry and Larkin and myself, we can reach out to some folks that we may know across Constitutional Area 1 that could do take a training course like that, break it down into 15-minute snippets, if you will. Jeff, that's a great idea. So please share that with me. I'd appreciate it. Okay. And I'll share it with you too. Okay. Terry and Larkin, I'll make sure you get that. Russell, thank you. I know you're busy, and I know that look, for the governors that are on here, I know I push. It's my job to push, and I'm going to push it. If I didn't push it, you'd think, oh my gosh, we just walk all over this guy. Pretty much, you probably can anyway. But I need to make sure that I push you a little bit, and you're gonna get start getting a weekly email from me. I hate to say this, but you're going to get one that's going to require either a yes or no answer. That's all it requires. It's a yes or no. And if it's a yes, it's going to have a number attached to it. And that email will be every Thursday. You'll get it. Are there any new club applications being submitted this week? And you'll get that from me on Thursday, starting next Thursday. So you can say no or yes, and it's 1, or yes, it's 10. But I need to be able to report that. And if you're, if with those districts that are a little bit negative right now in membership growth, I'm going to push you to get to positive membership growth, at least to zero. If we can't get to positive, we can at least get to zero. But I would hope that with 4 districts in MD7, that each one of you can at least end the year with a +1. And if I can, I'm going to ask you for that commitment. If you do better than that, that's great. But I need a +1. I need a +1 out of each one of you. Okay, I do. I don't think that's asking an awful lot. I think we can, I think we can get there. So, Russell, thank you. Who wants to go next?
Can I make another comment?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned encourage the Leo to line transition. At our convention, I've actually, Brandon Johnson is going to be coming on to speak to us about the Leos, the Leo to line, and the youth. So I'm really looking forward to that.
He'll be good. He will give you a very, very good presentation. Yes, Larkin. You'll need to unmute, Larkin.
Folks, let me get y'all up to date. My wife is the state Leo council chair for Texas, and she's extremely interested in reaching out to the other states and starting a conversation and sharing information. Her name is Nancy Smith. Chris can get you that, or I can get you that information, her email address, her phone number. But she just returned from the USA Leadership Conference in Reno, and she's got a ton of information. So if you need to talk to somebody, my wife, Nancy Smith, would be more than happy to visit with anybody that's connected with your Leo leadership at this level and start a dialogue. So I just wanted to offer that, Chris.
Larkin, thank you. And if you would, please, Larkin, in the chat box, would you please type in Nancy's email address? So if anybody wants to grab it, they can. I'd appreciate that.
Very good.
Yeah, if you're gonna have that Leo, that's some good stuff, and your district will get a lot from Brandon. They really will. He's good. Let's see. I'm gonna go to Tony. She's just been too quiet. I'm just gonna go to her as our next victim here.
Hello.
Hello, Tony.
So we've actually left a message for one mayor who hasn't returned a call yet, but we've spoken to another mayor. So we've got 2 possibilities there, still in the works as far as clubs. We have had one red coat event, not quite as successful as I would have liked, but it was the first one. So then that is where we are trying to revive some clubs that have gotten down in membership.
Mm-hmm.
I have visited most of our clubs and actually given them a challenge to try and at least net 1 this year. Would really like it if they netted 2, but if they would net 1 and provided them with a few welcome packets for new members. So that's been my challenge to them, and that's really what I spent the first quarter doing. And then I'd also would like to have a conversation with you on offline with regards to some stuff. So,
all righty, and that's fine. If you will, for any of you that want to have a conversation offline, just tell me what day you're looking at, or when it would be convenient for you. I will try to make sure that I'm available for that. And if I'm not, I will let you know. We'll work out a day. But yes, and we'll do it I'd rather do those sooner than later. So if we let them go too long, it's not good. So and I appreciate that, Tony. I know that I know you're working hard down there, and I know it's from where MD7, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. I can do the same thing out of MD2, where we came from last year, and I'm going to talk about MD2. where we came from last year to where we are this year are night and day. We had, if I go back 2 years in time, MD2 ended the year with a plus 356 members. Last year we ended the year with a negative 600. So that, you know, that just is, it's craziness. So it's tough to try to find your footing and start moving those things forward, especially when our history tells us we're you know, if we look at that history, how are we gonna get better than where we were? I know all of you have your own challenges that you're working with within your district, but I've had conversations with each one of you, just about each one of you on a personal level. And I know what you're wanting to do. I think you have the right idea. I think just getting some traction. As you said, Russell, there's a lot of things that just come at you all at once. And so you know, you're, especially when you're working and you got a family and all those kind of things. So it's hard to find your footing and hard to find your traction. So now that maybe some of the stuff is starting to get behind you that was there to begin with, maybe you can look at getting your traction now. So I'm not to a point where I'm gonna I'm not to a point where I'm going to start knee jerking at the end of the day, because we got a long way to go, folks. We still got almost 9 or a little less than 9 months left to go in this line here. We got a lot of stuff we can get done in that amount of time. So just keep doing what you're doing. But yes, Tony, whenever you just let me know when you'd like to have a conversation, and we'll make that happen. And thank you for your work that you're doing. I'm going to go to Glenn. He's right next to you. We can't hear you, Glenn, for some reason. You're unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
Gotcha.
Me,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gotcha. All right. All right. So like I said, I can echo what Russell was saying about, you know, the training and stuff like that. So I'd love to hear what we can come up with to maybe assist with that part. So I was told today, my home club, we're going to, as of right now, initiate 18 new members. So that should hopefully delete some of that negative. And that came from the Kiwanis membership. You know, their club's kind of going away, so we kind of worked them in for us, and we kind of scooped them in, and I'm glad to see that. And actually, we did have a couple of new members outside of the Kiwanis program, so I was glad to get that information. So we're working to get all those applications filled out, submitted, and all that good stuff. So that was a good piece of info. We actually had, I never didn't know we had this kind of program, but the Maumelle Club actually has started a new Lions Cub Club, and that's for the little kids. And he was asking if there was any grants available for that. And I said, well, no, but I will definitely. So it's way outside the box, but hey, it gets the parents involved. So hopefully the Maumelle Club can pick up maybe some new members that way with the kids being involved. So we'll see how that turns out. I'll be curious to see how it works and all that good stuff. So me and Betsy's going to start tag team in our district. We're going to sit down and kind of visit and, you know, see what club she wants to visit with and things like that, and kind of get a game plan going to work with the current clubs and see what their needs are, and kind of just see what kind of help they need to get that +1 for this year, or +2 or 3, and we'll go from there. And also I've got a map of our district, and what I'm trying to do is trying to look at that map and trying to decide which areas we have gaps in for new clubs. So I'd like to work with Betsy on that as well, and kind of get some ideas on maybe where some good starting points would be at in our district, and kind of go from there. So
Outstanding. What way to go on grabbing up the Kiwanis. I mean, that is super, man. That's just a great job. Great job. You talk about the Cub Club. Okay. One of the things that I might want to mention to you is that what a great opportunity to get parents involved in Lionism by having them, by starting that being a club with the parents and them sponsoring and doing that Cub Club. So in other words, they're working with their own children and bringing in more and more like-minded parents into that club with children that could be Cub members. Just a thought as an idea for you. The other side of that would also be, in the majority of us, other than now, I can't say all of us, but I can speak for, I know two on this phone call or on this Zoom call, Larkin and Terry. They live in big cities. I, like probably the majority of us on this particular Zoom call, live in rural areas. So I have something I would pass on to all of you. If you have independent school districts that are PTOs, that are organizations, not A's, associations, but O's, organizations, those are ripe. Picking is a bad word, but it's some low-hanging fruit for being able to open a new club, because PTOs don't have the insurance coverage that PTAs have through the association. So you can start a PTO Lions Club at a school, and that gives them that $1 million liability insurance coverage every time they have a function that the club meets, and typically their normal service area is for children anyway. So every time they have a service project or a fundraiser, they at least have a liability insurance premium that they can do. So it becomes some pretty easy, low-hanging fruit. And if any of you have a desire to go after, for lack of a better term, and that's not a good way to put that, but it's getting late for me today. It's only what, 7 o'clock, but it seems like I've been going since 4. But it is, we have a gentleman here in MD2 by the name of Jerry Watley, who has put in about 4 PTO clubs in the last year. And he can walk you through how to do that. So if you're interested, let me know. I will give him your information, and he will contact you. Jerry's, if you think I sound country, well, you just ought to hear him talk. He really does get country. So he's real slow and deep talking. He's a salesman, and you can, after you get through talking with him, you'll understand why he was a successful salesman. So anyway, Glenn, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And keep up the good work, and congratulations on those 18 new members. Let's see. Betsy, you want to say anything? No? Okay. Does anybody want to bring anything up? Have I missed anybody here? I know that Roy couldn't be with us. Yes, go ahead.
I would just like to kind of follow up on what District Governor Russell, his report.
Okay.
Yes, we have started, Lion Linda and I, Vice District Governor Linda and I, have been working with 3 clubs. I think one club has kind of dropped out of the group, although they were not they were looking to boost their membership, but they were a healthy club to begin with. The other 2 clubs that we're working with and I think will continue with this, are both needy clubs. And I don't know. It just seems like the president, who is the only active member in this one particular club, is doing everything that needs to be done, and nothing is working. Now, I was aware that, and we've talked about it, and I think they're wanting to do it maybe at multi-district level to bring in a Zoom level workshop by the new club development team. But I understand that there's also a new member development team that will kind of do the same thing. And I think that's what I'm going to look into.
Okay.
I haven't talked to the district governor about it yet, but maybe just at a district level. And certainly that would be something not only the clubs that I'm working with, but I think all zone chairs should definitely partake in something like that, and maybe some selected desperate clubs. But I think that's something that I would like to investigate. Also, I want to look into the membership development grant for some of the things that I think we need to do.
I don't think you can go wrong with that grant. If you don't use it, you don't use it. But I don't think I've ever heard of a district that has gotten that has received that grant that didn't use it. I mean, it's good to use. One of the things I would, Jeff, I'd like for you to think about when you're talking about especially this particular club that you just mentioned, that's doing everything they know how to do, but they're just not getting traction. They're not getting anywhere with what they're trying to do. Maybe a club branch within that club might be a way. And let me say why I say that. You have a group of, you already have the club, and that club is doing what they want to do as far as of how they want to serve the community, and whether they've gone out and actually done a community needs assessment, and they're trying to meet all the needs of the community, or maybe this club has a niche that they're in of how they want to serve. The good part about a club branch is that it doesn't have to just be a club that you're starting that's going to eventually go away and become another club. I mean, we can take a look at the Seal Beach Club out of California, which is the largest club in Constitutional Area 1, and they probably have 15 club branches within that one club. That's how they end up getting all the members that they have, and those branches don't want to change. But let's say that you have, I'm going to use an example that I have no earthly idea if it would be right or wrong in that club, but it's an example. Let's say that you have a group of people that are adoptive or foster care parents, okay, and that their thought process where they want to serve is to serve the foster and adoptive parents community. We don't have a Lions Club like that. At least at my MD, we don't, and you might have one in yours, but we don't here. But wouldn't that be a great branch club? I mean, and all those, it only takes 5 of them. You know, if that club were to get 5 additional members, what would it do to its membership? Number one. Number two, just think that, hey, now we put 5 new members in. This club is meeting a whole totally different need to the community than what we have. And this means that we're able to expand our service footprint, and then it just starts growing from there. So I'm not saying that is the one club, but there might be a group of people that their focus is Christmas on the square. I mean, I'm just using things that are just out of thin air, but maybe that's their focus. And what a great opportunity to bring in those folks and so the monies that they raise are the monies that they use for their club branch. Yes, there are some dues that will be paid, but those dues are separate. Those dues are the same dues that any club pays to Lions Clubs International and to state. their own, they set their own club due. They're not, they don't pay the same dues that the host club pays to the club. Okay, so they can set their own. So it can be as little or as much as they want to do. So that might be just an opportunity that club that can't get some traction might be able to get. You might be able to get a whole bunch of millennials that want to get together and do something that, because maybe the club is more seasoned, like maybe you and I are. I'm not saying you are, but I'm certainly saying I am. So, but maybe that would work. So if that works, fine. If it doesn't, there's always other alternatives and ways to go. So I'm just kind of throwing some stuff out there to see what sticks. Okay.
Can I have a question on that?
Yeah.
Let's say that president, the only active member, has a specialty of some sort, and that there's other individuals in that community with that same specialty, or we'll say they want to support. You said opening a club branch. Could that club turn into a specialty club? Just to be labeled specialty club, do they have to close the club and then reopen, or can they just relabel? I guess that would be.
I would, that's a great question. I would not suggest, nor would I think they'd have to close the club. As far as it would probably be a relabel, because I don't think they want to change their name or change the charter. But if they wanted to refocus their attention, if you will, in the community, we're able to change names of clubs through a proper form in the submission to Lions Clubs International. I would more than imagine, and I don't know this for a fact, and I can find out, and I will get that answer to you, but I would imagine that just by filling out some sort of proper form, and then also having the club to, as long as the club has a meeting and there's a forum of there's a quorum there of the membership that agreed to changing that from a traditional club to a specialty club, and that's added, and that's in the minutes. Those minutes are forwarded to club club service. I don't think there'd be anybody in Lions Clubs International would say no to that, but I will get an answer for you on that. Anybody else have a question? Concern? Well, I want to thank you very, very much for your time this evening. I hope that you found the meeting beneficial. I hope that it was not a waste of your time. I know it wasn't a waste of my time. I know that I got an awful lot out of it. And before I shut all this down, I'm going to go back around to my two cohorts in crime who are part of this call this evening and ask if they have anything that they want to pass on. I'll first start with Past District Governor Larkin. Is there anything that you might want to pass along to anybody?
I'm interested in membership law, so I do quite a bit of stuff for Chris here in Texas. And if anybody has any questions or comments, please direct them to me. I'd be more than happy to help and support y'all with that area. Thank you, Chris.
You betcha. And I'll just kind of piggyback on what Lark has said. If anybody would like to see what he is talking about, he does an extensive data collection for MD2 that we've been doing he's been doing for going on, it's the second year now. Our goal is to get a 3-year trend on it. But it really does give you some wonderful information about loss and about where the majority of your losses are. And then what he and I refer to as the silly stuff that we do to shoot ourselves in the foot. We have club secretaries that, and I'm not saying things bad about club secretaries, but make a decision on how they're going to drop somebody or when they're going to do it. And it's just, we've been able to curb some of that. We're starting to see some curbing of some of those losses now. So if you're interested, please let me know. I will forward to you what Larkin does. And if it's something that you would like to have your GMT at your district do, he will help them in doing that. So just let me know, and we'll do that. And I'll find last but certainly not least in all this is my true cohort in crime, my vice area leader, Terry. Anything that you want to pass on as we close this out this evening?
Well, I had said goodbye to everybody in the comments. I know you hadn't gotten to look at yours, but because I have people here at my house, but I came back in to say goodbye because Arkansas, I love you guys. My family's all from there. And one of the things that you can do is you can have your GLTs contact me if they have any issues, any problems. I have been doing the GLT in my own multiple districts. So we're done with our first vice district governor training and our zone chair training. I would be really happy to help any of them to get organized, to come see them, because I got family there. I can come see you guys. So anything I can do for you, please reach out to me. And I'm gonna leave my phone number in case you can't find it. It's all over the internet. Come on. But I'm gonna leave it in the chat box for you guys. And if there's just really anything, literally, I'm here for you.
Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. And when she says she means she's there, she means it. She's there to help. I will again echo what both Past District Governor Terry and Past District Governor Larkin has said. We are here to help. That's all. That's our main purpose here. Please continue doing what you're doing. I'm proud of the work that you're getting done. We may have been a little bit slow coming out of the gate, but you're starting to get some momentum. Hey, look, 18 new members coming in. That'll help take care of some of that deficit that is there. I know that we got 2 other districts that are just at a -1, so that means we just need 2 members and we're at a plus. We have 1 district that is at 0, so we just need 1 new member, and that puts us at a +1. So we're right there. I mean, we are right there. If you need anything, holler at us. We're here to help you. And I want to thank you very much for your time this evening. And I look forward to seeing everybody again next month. And if you need me, reach out to me, guys and ladies. That's all it takes. All right. With that, I want to thank you all very much. You all have a great night and a great week. And hey, happy Halloween. We'll have a good time as we move past Halloween. All right. So we'll see everybody. Good night now. Thank you.
Thank you.